Digital photography made simple.
Hey, welcome back to Digital 1-to-1. Our segment today is about flare, what it is, and how to remove it properly, and how you can use it creatively. Similar to what you see here in our shot with the geometric shape of light coming down and the streak on the other side, that's flare. But before we move on, let's show you a still image with flare in the shot. Technically speaking, flare is light that streaks across our image, sometimes forming geometric shapes that match the shape of the aperture setting. This is caused by light that cannot reach the camera's sensor located on the inside back of the camera. And this light ends up bouncing between the elements of glass in our lens. Basically, flare is just a ray of light entering the lens from a wrong angle, coming from an original source like the sun or perhaps a street lamp. Now on the other hand, if light is reflected off a mirror or say a car windshield, we call that glare. Now I'm going to show you two pictures, one with flare and one with glare. Take a look. Now there's a simple way to correct the light streaks in our images. Since we know that this ray of light is already rogue and cannot reach the camera sensor, we can simply prevent it from entering our image. By shading our lens from the direct light source, we are making sure that it won't receive this flare. Now the simple way to do this is basically shade our camera lenses. Now we can do this with our hand, a small piece of cardboard, or even our hats. Here's a small video to show you what we mean. Now as you can see right now, my sun is sort of 11 o'clock high to my subject, and I see that I have a flare streak in my viewfinder. Now what we want to do is we want to block and shade the lens, and simply by taking our hand and covering over the lens and shadowing the lens, we'll be able to see in our viewfinder when that streak of light or that fogginess will go away. That's basically how you do it. Now the same thing works with your baseball hat. Remember, your eye is also a lens, and right now I have the sun in my eyes, and right now I don't. You're doing the same thing with your lens. That's what we mean by shading your lens to prevent the flare from happening in your shot. Now here we have a prosumer camera. Now one of the things about prosumer cameras is they come with different accessories, and one of those accessories are lens hoods. Lens hoods act like the shading of a hat or putting our hand in front of our other camera. And basically by just screwing this on, we're now going to block and shade that rogue streak of light from entering our lens. Now one of the more obvious things we could do is to basically reposition our whole body and ourselves out of the light. Now if you don't have a lot of shade to work with, try to find a shadow to hide behind, like that of this tree right here. All I'm going to do is just step back, and like we did with our hand over the lens, I'm now using the shadow of this tree to protect the lens from having any light enter it. That's a great way to control flare and glare when you're shooting outside. But let's not forget that this rogue streak of light can be used creatively. Having a ray of light coming in from someone behind in a portrait can be quite eye-catching, especially if we're shooting someone at the beach or in a cityscape. Hey, here's a sample shot of ours. Take a look. If you're going to use flare in your shot creatively, make sure it adds to your image and doesn't distract from your image. This is how you should approach in your thinking to using flare creatively. And now that you have this choice, how to eliminate it or why to keep it, this is one of those small elements of photography that lets you test your creativity. And we encourage you to do so. Think creatively. And for more tips like this, look to us here on Digital 1-to-1.